We are living in unprecedented times. The future without jobs will come to resemble either the cultivated benevolence of Star Trek or the desperate scramble for resources of Mad Max. Unless there's a dramatic course correction, I fear we are heading toward the latter. We're entering this winner-take-all economy that is breaking down many of the capitalist relationships we take for granted. The American people are getting increasingly desperate. We have been so brainwashed into thinking that human worth and economic worth are the same thing that we are contorting ourselves in increasingly attenuated and ridiculous fashion. Cheerleading this GDP number being at record highs makes no sense when your people are dying younger and sooner. This is the desperation we are in. People are looking around and saying, what does the democracy hold? And our politicians aren't able to respond to the challenge because they're too busy going to fundraising. We have to unbrainwash ourselves, really. How did Amazon pay zero in taxes in 2018? How did a $1 trillion tech company pay less in federal taxes than the vast majority of the people in this room? That is a colossal political failure at the highest levels. I think we should all be offended by the spectacle of Amazon pitting communities against each other to see who could bend over backwards more for a preordained process. I mean, that's thousands of man-hours put forward by hundreds of communities around the country just to show the primacy again of a company saying I have jobs, you need jobs, let's see what you can do. We should make any of these local tax inducements just 100% taxable and just get rid of the beauty contest forever. Because from a national point of view, it makes no difference to us which city or state a company is based in as long as it's in the United States of America. So having someone move within the country produces no net economic benefits. All we're doing is giving the companies more money that some of these communities can't afford. A lot of the benefits they're promised don't materialize. We should all be offended by that. So we need to get with the program, own the fact that our economy has evolved in fundamental ways, get the public will to match up to the policy, and the only way to do that is just send a message all the way to the top, because unfortunately most of our legislators are held captive by corporate interests, and there's a very limited way to make the feedback mechanism of democracy work. There are two parallel crises that are working in tandem. One is climate change, two is the fourth industrial revolution, that we're in the midst of the greatest economic and technological transformation in human history. And Donald Trump is a symptom of this transformation. The driving force behind his victory in 2016 was that we'd automated away 4 million manufacturing jobs in Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Missouri, Iowa. And now we're going to do the same thing to millions of retail jobs, call center jobs, fast food jobs, truck driving jobs. So we have these two crises that are unfolding in tandem, and we are completely ill-prepared for either of them. So the best path forward is to try and humanize our economy. And by this what I mean is GDP is a measurement we made up almost 100 years ago. And even the inventor said three things. One, this is a terrible measurement for national well-being, and we should not use it as that. Two, we should include parenthood and motherhood in the number because they're so important. And three, we shouldn't include military defense spending because it has no economic value. And of course, we ignored all three of those things, and now we're riding GDP off a cliff. And so what we should do is update our very measurements so that something like environmental quality, mental health, childhood success rates, life expectancy, proportion of elderly who can retire in quality circumstances, we have numbers for these things. We can turn them into the new GDP, and then we can channel our market forces to try and improve our lives, because the market is doing what it's designed to do. The problem is that capital efficiency and human well-being are diverging. So what you have to do is you have to actually make the measurements human well-being itself, and then have that be the measurement of progress. That is our best path forward, and that actually gives us a chance to try and make progress on climate change and the automation of jobs simultaneously in the time frame we have. We need to do something about it as fast as possible for the sake of our children, our grandchildren, and leave a society that we're still proud of to them, because we do not have limitless time. We know what must be done. The time for talk is well past, and now we must act. We need to break free of this logic of the marketplace before it's too late. We must reshape and accelerate society to bring us all to higher ground. We must find new ways to organize ourselves independent of the values that the marketplace assigns to each and every one of us. We are more than the numbers on our paychecks, and we are going to have to prove it very quickly. We must make the market serve humanity rather than have humanity continue to serve the market. Society will change either before or after the revolution. I choose before.